Welcome to INSZN's College Football Show. I am Braxton Wilkes along with co-founder Christian Berry. We are here to talk some college football with y'all, so let's get right into it. This Friday night, we have a big-time matchup the rankings came out last night, so potential college football playoff implications. Tulane against Memphis. Tulane's coming off a kind of shocking loss to UTSA, 26-48, and Memphis, although they're not in the top 25 of the college football playoff rankings, they are the first group of 5 team. So assuming they can win this game and continue to go on, they are going to be a part of the college football playoff, at least as it stands right now. So you ready to just get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. All right. So this game, like I said, it's being played in Memphis. It's -4.5 Memphis right now. The over-under is 55.5. Tell me what you're seeing, Christian.
Yeah, so Memphis is coming. Memphis had one kind of bad loss this year against UAB, but other than that, they've had a pretty consistent schedule. I remember the early win against Arkansas that kind of put them a little bit back on the map and saying, hey, who's the group of 5 team that's going to have the chance of making the playoffs this year? So I think Memphis, just overall, Memphis's offense is probably going to be a problem for Tulane. Tulane ranks in, I think, the bottom 50 percentile in coverage, run defense, and pass rush defense. So I wouldn't expect Tulane to be able to stop Memphis's passing game very well. Brendan Lewis, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NCAA this year, top 10, top 15 percentile in accuracy. So I think that Memphis is going to be able to just utilize the passing game against Tulane. I think that they're probably going to come away with a win, greater than a 2-possession game. If we look at the offensive rankings, SP Plus, Memphis is 13, Tulane's 57. On SP Plus defense, Tulane's 81, Memphis is 61. So if we kind of just net that out, Memphis's offense is going to be probably the story of the game. And I see no issue with them kind of running away with this. What else are you seeing here?
Yeah, this is a great matchup. Obviously, Memphis projected to win the American, at least in the committee's mind. They're second in the American right now behind Navy. Tulane's 4th. That UTSA loss really hurt them.
Yeah.
But I think the committee is looking at the American to be that group of 5, that 5th champion to come into the playoff. Even though they're not ranking Memphis in the top 25 right now. I think that Memphis and USF and North Texas are probably the top 3 teams out of the group of 5. And Memphis kind of needs to start making some statements because they had that loss at UAB, that kind of shocking loss. So I think that it's going to be a good game. I do expect Memphis to kind of, be excited about being projected to be in the playoff and not that they were going to sleepwalk into this game because Tulane has a good team, but Friday nights, anything can happen. And I kind of see Memphis running away with it. That Jake Retzlaff has put together a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Tulane has played a lot of close games, and it kind of finally caught up to them against UTSA. But SP Plus ranking for Memphis offense is 13 versus Tulane's defense is 81. This is kind of good against not so good in terms of Memphis offense versus Tulane defense. So I think that this is a game that's probably going to be Memphis all the way.
Yeah.
But I also, would not be surprised. Retzlaff is a gamer. And he plays well. So
exactly. That's what I'm trying to look for anything that's going to break our initial assessment that Memphis's offense is just going to be the key of the game. But Retzlaff's been a pretty good quarterback this year. Take away his UTSA game, which is by far his worst of the season. You could look at Ole Miss's game, but that's a pretty staunch defense. But take away those 2 games, he's pretty accurate quarterback. One of the things that he's actually one of the top quarterbacks in the nation for is his ability to escape the pocket when pressured. And so that's another thing I wanted to look at is his pocket presence has been pretty solid this year. He's able to get the ball out quickly, or he's able to evade a lot of pressures in the pocket and scramble. So let me just take a look real quick at what Memphis's pass rush defense looks like. Yeah, Memphis doesn't have a great pass rush defense. So, that's not something that I think is going to be a defining factor of the game. But I'm just trying to find any other type of analytic hook that will kind of change a little bit of our notion of this game. But I think if you look at it from the highest level, I think Memphis takes this game by, a touchdown or two. It's at Memphis. It's a Friday night game. Should be a lot of fun. So that's kind of my assessment of the game. Nothing more really like high-level takeaways from my end.
Right. I think you're right on that. The other thing that I'm kind of interested in, would you mind pulling up a comparison of Jake Retzlaff from last year at BYU and this year, and let's just kind of compare the seasons he's putting together, or the season he put together last year versus this year?
Yeah, let's look at that. All right. So on the left side right here, we have 2024, which is his time at BYU, versus 2025, which is this year. I mean, I'm looking at it from this perspective. I mean, we can take away yards because that's obviously played more games. We can look at YPA attempts. Let's take away some of these. Let's look at primarily completion rate and accuracy, yards per attempt. I mean, it's pretty consistent with what it was last year. He had more big-time plays last year in BYU, which, if you think about Big 12 defenses, BYU, maybe that's something you can equate to. He has a little bit more of an edge on turnover-worthy plays this year, about 0.2%, which is not huge. Pretty consistent QBR. So there's not a whole lot I'm taking away differences between Retzlaff last year and this year. I don't think he took too many strides in terms of, he's going to see different schemes in the American, but versus the Big 12. But if we look at grades, I mean, he's kind of better at overall passing grade, overall rushing grade. Deep pass grade has taken a massive dip this year. I don't know what you want to chalk that up to. Is it his receivers that he's seeing? Is it his coverage he's seeing? But kind of overall, seeing kind of the same quarterback we saw last year. So I don't have any high-level takeaways of what's changed year over year.
Yeah, no, I think some of that you can chalk up to defenses he was facing. Some of it you can chalk up to receivers around him. And I bet a lot of it you can just chalk up to the offensive scheme they're running. So, so that's kind of our thing. My final takeaway, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but my final takeaway on this, Memphis is averaging over 3.33 rush touchdowns per game, 200 rush yards. Tulane gives up about 158 rush yards, but they only give up one rush touchdown. So I think early on, Memphis is going to try to establish the run. And if they're able to do that, I expect them to control the clock, be able to have some play action passes for Brendan Lewis. That pass rush from Tulane, which already isn't statistically very good. I think that they're not going to be able to, they're going to have to back off a little bit, only send 3 or 4, and probably not have a lot of pressure on Brendan Lewis, which he's shown all year. If you're giving him time, he's going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's kind of the only analytical takeaway that I have, is that Memphis produces 3.3 rushing touchdowns per game, and Tulane allows about 1.2. So that's the only kind of statistical difference I'm seeing in terms of deviation. But otherwise, I think that Brendan Lewis is gonna, if they can't run the ball, I think Brendan Lewis is gonna be able to get it on the field. Oh, there we go. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I think that's kind of all I have there. I would take Memphis, with the points.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought.
Yeah, perfect. Well, that is our coverage of Tulane versus Memphis this Friday night. This is in season. Like we have said on all our other videos, you can get it at INSZNCFB.com or INSZN.co. Both will take you to kind of the platform we were showing off. If you get a moment, get a chance, comment, follow, like, subscribe. Tell us what we're doing well. Tell us what we need to do better. Tell us some teams that you want to hear about and some games that you want to hear about. And until we meet again, we will see you next time. Thank you.